I think people underestimate my, I don't want to say technical abilities, but I feel like I am more of the pressure powerhouse kind of grappler that I think people they only see, especially when I'm competing and I have my A game, my head and arms, and just like that hard style of pressure passing that I don't really show. And this is my fault for not really kind of showing that in competition, that I can move like Jerry and I can play that small guy game, which I feel like it helped me a lot when I was like 215, back when I was lifting heavy and I was a brown belt and I was doing American Nationals and I was competing at heavyweight. I feel like I did really good against those guys because I had a small guy game. You know, I was kind of moving like Jerry. So yeah, so I feel like I got to do a better job about going out there and kind of displaying that, you know. But it's tough, like you said, when you go out there, you just want to get to your A game.
Yeah, you revert to it because it's in your human nature.
It's just it's your default.
So let's get back to the specifics, man. When you roll with your brother, how do you approach rolling with him? Like, say if you're about to go on competition, because I've seen like the last podcast, I've seen those killer looks in your eyes. Okay, well I'm gonna you know, not that you're gonna hurt anyone. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's in competition. Man, I can't fucking do this, man.
I'm not wrong with him.
Yeah. But when you say, that's a good insight actually. When you get in that mode, and then say, and I don't even know how true this is, but then do you and Jerry give each other like the business? Are you guys going, hey, let's go because we have to simulate the competition, like ADCC or something?
There is times, especially if I'm in camp, like Jerry's obviously one of my best training partners aside from being my coach. There's not too many. We do have our tough rounds. I would say most of the time, because we're coaching, it's tough for us to kind of get like rounds with each other when they're that hard. Obviously, you see we do our first warm-up round. Obviously, it's always me and Jerry to get warm. But we have so many, we had to coach so many people, and there's so many people that we have to roll with. So sometimes it's tough to kind of like, okay, let's get a round just for us, you know, which I feel like we need to do it more because me and Jerry, we don't have those rounds where we're just kind of like, go.
Yeah.
You know, we do sometimes, but it's not like 100%, let's try to murder each other.
Do you think it's because you guys are brothers and it's like kind of awkward? You know what I mean? Like,
I see what you're saying. Yes and no, because we know each other's games so well, you know, and it's weird. I still feel he just has like, he's my big brother, so it's like I never want to like go past that point. He just still is my older brother.
I don't want to make you. I don't want to make you feel bad, bro.
Then yeah, it's not piss him off too, man.
I know. Just playing. So who do you go with anyone to prepare yourself that hard in jiu-jitsu, or is it just kind of like, man, I'll go with anyone, I'm just gonna play my A game?
Yeah, I think there's certain guys I can like pick up the intensity with where they don't feel like I'm being a dick. Like Zach is like one of my wrestling coaches.
Yeah.
Me and him can go, and it can get to the point where we're snapping each other's heads, we're collar tying hard, and it's a rough round. But certain people I don't feel like I can, just because I don't want to put a bad taste in their mouth. And then sometimes with me too, I don't like to get to that point where I feel like there has to be a medium where you guys are training hard, but then when it gets to that point where you guys are like slapping each other's head, right? Then it turns into like, well, okay, now we're like slapping, and it's like, okay, I don't want
like Cade Tutorial. Like
yeah. Now we're just beating the shit out of each other, you know. So I don't want it to ever get to that point, you know. Because then if the coach is doing that, you just kind of look like an asshole, you know.
This is probably a personal question for myself, but then is it more of, because when you roll with, say, mixed martial arts guys that actually compete, right? They do this for a living. There's something different about them. They're more aggressive. And I think that's obviously a default because they have to be like that.
Right.
They don't mean to necessarily, but then they're grabbing you a lot harder.
Yeah. It's
and
what they know.
It's what they know.
Especially if you come from like an MMA background where you started in doing MMA first rather than jiu-jitsu. Like if you start doing jiu-jitsu, you have kind of more of like a flowy type game rather than coming straight from MMA where you're just, you know, everything's tough.
What do you think about that? What's your philosophy on, do you think that in, say in jiu-jitsu terms, do you think that's a good way to go about jiu-jitsu? Is there one style that culturally you'd want them to be like more flowy because it's more friendly and then you get more people at the gym? Because that's kind of what sells people, right?
Yeah.
It's like, the culture,
the environment. Yeah. And we recently just had someone, you bring up a good point. We recently had someone come in and they were like, you know, I'm older, obviously I'm a black belt, but I don't want to go to a gym where it's like I'm trying to get murdered by a bunch of different young killers, you know? He's like, I came to Syndicate, and he's like, I didn't even try any other gym because I came here and the culture, everyone was super cool. No one was trying to murder you. Obviously, if you want those hard rounds, you could find them. We got a bunch of people on the map, but he was just like, damn, it's cool that I could come here and the culture and not getting murdered and
Right.
you know what I mean?
I
So
think
it was cool to hear that.
Yeah, what sets the tone, I told Jerry this, is that you guys have a way. It's not okay. Jerry teaches really well, right? He's the one that speaks the most. How he articulates the moves, but then it's I think it's more than that. It's a lot of nonverbals from where I'm sitting. Like, you guys are fucking funny as fuck without being funny.
Yeah.
In the best ways, because you have that dynamic. Sometimes you'll make fun of people, but then in just like the most jabbiest kind of like, hey, you know, we don't mean it. We're just like laughing at each other.
Or showing technique. And Jerry's like busting my balls. Like, you know, he'll talk about my guard, or if you got a shitty guard like Shane or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll put it like that. Like the Undertaker. Yeah, I think that's a really good, like, almost to, if we want to talk business wise, like a selling point. Not that you guys are trying to do it for that, but it's a good dynamic between you and the brother. It's like, I think that's why people compliment you. Yeah, it may be a little bit of the saddest thing, like, oh, Jerry and Shane, but then the way you guys react to each other, it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a new age young fun. It's not like an old school, when you go to those old school, like, you know, Brazil, and they're pretty funny themselves. Like, they got their old style, but then it's like older jokes. Okay, that was pretty smart. But,
right. More dad jokes, kind of thing.
More dad jokes. Yeah, man. Dude, you ramped up your coaching quite a bit ever since we started, you know, talking from the last time. What is that about, man? Did you like kind of volunteer for that, or was that something that maybe John Wood was like, hey, man, I want you to take a bigger part? Because I know you were coaching before. But then now you're really, really in there. You're in there, like in the pro team. Not that you weren't again before, but you ramped it up 100 pretty much. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Like, so I obviously I love coaching. When we talk about Jerry, how great of a coach he is, he loves to do it, right? So I feel like I've just kind of found my niche where it's been fun for me to coach a lot more. And not that I'm like taking a step back from competition, because I still like I want to compete, and I still want to obviously, you know, have my personal goals, but the coaching side of it, taking more part, and just like kind of realizing I have a lot to offer, you know, as a coach. You know, like I have.
Can you be more specific on that? Yeah, like
just like my jiu-jitsu knowledge. Like, even though I know Jerry's it's our program. Obviously, Jerry's more of the head coach. He's more of the speaker. You know, and I feel like a lot of that is because he's my coach too. So all the stuff you're seeing from Jerry, it's like you're gonna see the same thing from me. We have obviously different little here and there things, but I made it a point that even though it's like not big things that are different, I still can bring a lot of value in those little details that I have, or just little things like that. You know what I mean? So I took initiative to just kind of dive in and then be more present as a coaching figure for one, help out more, you know, not just kind of, I feel like there's a point where I was there to coach, but I also was there to obviously get my training in. So I kind of had to dial that back, and like a lot more I've been, you know, rolling with newer people, and, you know, just trying to help out more. New guys come in, I'm kind of giving up my training sessions a little bit to help out more. So yeah, just taking the initiative to kind of dive in. And John has been, you know, everyone's been telling me for a while, like, dude, you can be a great coach. Like, we know you have it in. You're kind of like the dark horse of the coaching staff, man. Like, you can be a great damn coach, dude. You got to believe it. You know,
right.
You just have to believe it. So,
and you're immersed in it. That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
What are some specifics from now, since you're in it, that you've learned in coaching? The methodology or even technique? What's like the biggest game changer you think that you're excelling at right now?
I think just the presence on the mat, being more of a coaching figure, you know, being more loud and just being more, just a presence.
Was that hard for you? I'm curious about that, because, you know, you got these like pro fighters, right? I mean, I'm seeing it subjectively.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there's a guy from Russia that's doing Sambo, right? Like that post that we saw. There's Khalil over there, you know, just chilling. And there's just other high level profiles, as we know. What's the boundary on that, man? I know that you're like a head figure now. Technically, you are as a coach, right? Yeah. I mean, you deserve the title. Yeah. Did you feel awkward? It's almost, because I used to coach in San Diego too, like in Muay Thai. And at times I'd feel awkward in quote unquote telling people what to do, but I don't think it's telling people what to do. It's coaching.
Right. It's just coaching.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, can you get more in nuance with that?
Yeah. So I'm glad you bring that up, because when I first started coaching, not even when I first started coaching, up until recently, I felt like people would come in, or different pro fighters would come in, and I'd be like, damn, like I know I'm very good at jiu-jitsu. I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm like, they've been doing fighting for a while. They've been obviously training for a long time. It's like you kind of like lose confidence a little bit and like, what do I really have to show them they probably haven't seen before?
What's going on, guys? If you're enjoying this podcast, please don't forget to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Only if you're getting value out of it on YouTube and also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a rating and follow. And also, I also write a blog newsletter from what I learned from my incredible guests that I have on. So sign up for the email list and get updates on the podcast.